Trainer John Gardner has become notorious for the unusual ways he cares for his dogs, but he has learnt a lot in his life about greyhounds, having worked for some of the best.
What age did you get into greyhound racing and how did it all happen?
As a spectator, I was very young because I used to go to Park Royal, but I actually started helping Terry Dartnell when I was about 24, 25, something like that. Yeah, I was a late starter.
How old are you now?
I was born in 1946, so that probably make me about 68.
That's a lot of years. Have you enjoyed your times in greyhound racing on the whole?
Yeah, but I had a sabbatical for 25 years when the property boom went crazy, and I had to improve my lot. And I took 25 years out the sport and worked hard, and now I'm back in it again.
Let's go back to the beginning. Your first dog that you owned, first of all.
The first dog I owned was in partnership with my good friend, who's no longer with us, Bobby Smith, and her name was Soul Ambition. And it was our sole ambition to win the Derby. And then I had a little bitch after that called Empty Words. And I had a very, very beautiful Swedish girlfriend, and she used to think that people who gambled had something missing in their life. So when we used to discuss things and it used to get a bit heated, my answer to her was that I didn't love her anymore. And her reply to me was always, empty words, empty words. And so I called this little bitch Empty Words.
What other greyhounds have you owned then? Any that our viewers would remember?
Yeah, I had a real good marathon dog going back to 1984. I had it in partnership with three good friends then. And his name was Market Mover. And he was a proper marathon dog. He won the Pepsi Cola Marathon at Walthamstow. He was finalist in the Regency, and he was even money favourite to win the TV trophy, but he won neither. But, you know, he was the first real good dog I had, and I didn't think I would ever be lucky enough to find another one as good as him. And that was another reason I got out of the game.
So your involvement has mainly been ownership, but alongside that has come helping out trainers and sort of working for them as a kennel hand through the years. You mentioned Terry Dartnell. Who else have you been involved with?
Basically, I started helping Terry. Then I went on my own, and then I gave up my licence to help Jerry Fisher as a kennel hand, and we had some real good dogs in those days. We had Daly's Gold and Game Ball and Joe's Gamble. Black Mercedes, Master Dart. The dogs were endless, and Brian Smith was the premier owner in the game in those days. And yeah, I enjoyed my time with Jerry.
Have you learnt a lot along the way from these
Yeah,
different
you never
people?
stop learning in this game. I'm still learning now. You know, things move on. Nutrition, new biscuits. Everything changes. Everything changes for the better.
You've been in the game so many years. You've come across some amazing people in your time.
Yeah, yes, I have. Yeah, but I'm focused. I'm focused on my dogs. You know, I always remember I was at White City as a kid, and I bumped into the great Ger McKenna, and a man was talking to Ger about. He had a dog, he had this, he had that, and he was telling Ger all about the breeding of the dog and Ger stopped him in his tracks and he said, "Can the dog run?" So he said, "Yeah, he can run." And so Ger said to him, "Well, that's all you want to worry about, that the dog can run. Don't worry about breeding, don't worry about this, don't worry about that. If the dog can run, that's all you want to worry about." That was a lesson.
And over the years, obviously, you must have seen so many tracks come and go. Whether it still exists or not, what's been your favourite track ever?
Well, I just think that Brighton is the best track in the country. You know, Brighton is a fantastic gallop. If Brighton was more central to the rest of England, you've got to run the Derby at Brighton. It's a fantastic track. Facilities, top class.
The main reason you came out of the sport was because you thought you'd never get a dog as good as the one you'd had. So what on earth was it all those years later that caught your eye about Coulivanny Burt? Because he brought you back into the sport.
Well, when Burt came into the kennel, he wasn't very...
This is into Kelly Finley's kennel?
This was at Kelly's, yeah. Burt was in a wooden kennel. And Burt was kennelled on his own, and he would chew the kennel, chew. And I would sit with him for hours trying to pacify him. And we kind of got a relationship together. I used to feed him these little biscuits, and I could see he was an intelligent dog. I knew he was a good dog, and I thought, well, I've worked really hard the last 25 years. I've got a few quid, and what am I going to do? Am I going to die and leave it? I've got no children, and I thought, no, I'm going to enjoy my last few years of my life, and I went and bought Bert.
You say you knew he was a good dog, but at that time there was a few in that litter that were all looking like being something.
There was
what was it about Bert?
Well, I tell you, it's funny you should say that, Julie, because I took Pedro, his son, his brother Pedro, who was also Spots. I took him to Wimbledon, and the first look round Wimbledon, he'd done 28.35, if I remember rightly. And I phoned back Kelly to say, Kelly, I think this one could be at least Bert's equal. And I still maintain that today. He was a bit taller than Bert, looked a little bit more athletic than Bert, but it was just a shame he was injury prone, and he never really fulfilled his potential, which was sad.
But there is something about Bert. When you talk about him and sitting in his kennel feeding him biscuits, your face lights up.
Yeah, well, he's a very, very intelligent dog, as you've seen today, Julie. You know, he knows every word you say. His conformation is absolutely top class. His temperament is top class. I can't say any more about the dog than that. He's just a fantastic dog.
And obviously the racing and the breeding aside, you know, he lives with you as though he's a pet, despite this fantastic stud career that he's now having.
Yeah.
You love him to bits.
He's got a lovely life. If I was a greyhound, I'd want his life.
So Bert brought you back into the sport. Are you in it now till the day you die?
Absolutely, absolutely. I look forward to getting some more of his progeny. It's my life now. What else have I got? I don't play football anymore. I don't watch Sky TV. I used to watch hours of golf on Sky TV, but I don't do that anymore. These are my life now.